Hello, everyone. How are you? It's good to see you tonight. It's the one of the only Sir Hale speaks. Hold on, hold on. I got to do it like I got to do it. I don't say it live on this side. You sure it's going through? Is live on y'all end? It is. Listen, y'all are getting the realest, uncut version of Sir Hale speaks tonight. It's good to see everybody.
Speaks in the building.
I'm glad that you guys are here. Now, it's the first live on the Sir Hale Speaks podcast of the year, and there is no other way that I would rather spend this time with talking to a couple who I deeply admire and respect just because of the way they present themselves, the love that they show, and the dedication to empowering other people, whether this is husbands or wives or parents to their children. There is no other couple I have seen in this realm, and not just even in YouTube, just in real life, because they're not just online personalities; they are real people who just happens to have an online platform. I am here talking today with the Harrises, the says, Mr. and Mrs. Mr. He said, Mrs. She said. They were in the building, and I'm excited about the conversation tonight. Now, let me give you guys a couple of reasons why I'm doing this show. Number one is I think that we are at a very pivotal time in history where if we don't understand how to have relationships, uh, I don't think that our future looks very bright. How could it? There won't be families, there won't be communities. It will be every man for themselves. And I think that we are treading down a very dangerous path. So, what do we do when there are difficult situations? We don't complain about it. What we do is we pull on our resources to get some assistance so that we can re-steer the ship for a better future for our children. So, everybody, I'm excited tonight. Before we do this, though, housekeeping. If you haven't come in and hit the like button, shame on you.
Sir
It's
Hale
disrespectful if you
speaks in the
ask me.
building.
You make sure you hit the like button, whether you're watching this on Facebook or YouTube, and be sure to interact, comment, share, like. I want to make sure that this is an engaging stream tonight. All right. Without further ado, hang on one second, y'all. Yeah, yeah. I'm not seeing the comments on my side. You sure we live on YouTube? Okay, let me pull it up, y'all. I don't see any comments at this moment. I don't see any comments. Now you know I'm getting older now, but I'm not that old. So let me see what's going on here. Okay, yeah, I do see you guys right now. It's good to see your kitchen medicine cabinet. It's good to see you, Lady Anye. I'm glad that you're here in the chat. To those of you who are joining on any other platform, please comment. I really appreciate you guys. As without further ado, let me bring up my guests here who are here tonight. I want you to show your love for this amazing couple who I am honored to know. The Harrises.
Salute, salute.
Good evening, good evening. Thank you, Sir Hale, Lady Hale. Salute to everybody.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Peace to Sir Hale, Lady Hale. Thank you for having us. It's our pleasure to be here.
Difficulties on my end. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to ask a question to the Harrises. I'm going to go restart and come back in, and we're going to act like none of this ever happened. Okay? To the Harrises, it's good to see you guys. I know that you guys are celebrating.
That is
28
great.
years. Yes.
hmm
Where did the whole love in abundance, where did that concept, that idea come from?
Ladies
Oh
first.
man. Jeez. I'm not even sure if I can articulate where it came from. I think just we move in love intentionally. I would have to say. So creating that name, the he said, she said, love in abundance is. I mean, that's how we move. So
Mhm.
I don't know what more.
It finished
to add
off
to
the
that.
it finished off the Monica.
Mhm.
So, when we started to think about presenting our relationship, we packaged it up in Blog Talk Radio first, like
Yes.
many years ago.
Ooh.
And it was He Said, She Said was the name of our program, because
Right.
we always thought that everything is he said, she said until somebody can prove something. So, we thought it was great. It symbolizes men, it symbolizes women, it symbolizes the conversation, it symbolizes lying, it symbolizes truth, it symbolizes it's three sides to a story. It's his and hers. Shout out to Netflix for that, his and hers. It's his and hers, and then somewhere in the middle, it's the truth.
Yes.
So once we started building with that, we just used our relationship as an example. You have to have love in abundance. You have to love yourself first. And that love got to overflow out of your cup into your significant other's cup. And then their self love and then the love you pour into them is going to have their cup overflowing. And then that cup's going to overflow into the kids. And then the kids are going to be productive, positive adults in the community and society because they come from this garden where love is required and prioritized and pedestalized, but it all starts from loving yourself. And then that love overflows, and that's where the abundance comes from. Because if everybody is operating in this space of, I got love for myself, my knowledge, my wisdom, my understanding, my physical, my spiritual, my mental, all of these things, if you have this abundance, it spills over into your family. And that's, where the whole thing came from. It's like, just live it and just tell them how we live in it. And maybe they'll catch on and try to emulate.
Yeah, that was fantastic, right? We got a whole lot to work with just that statement, because one could intimate from that statement is that it's a problem that in relationships that people are trying to love from empty cups. So if you're not taught how to come from a place of fullness, then you, by definition and extension, you become a leech because you need what the other person has because you don't have capacity or anything to give. So if we speak about this, just some of the relationship difficulties we see today, is it possible that the issue is because empty cups are trying to love each other and trying to establish standards that empty people can't meet? What's your thought about that?
Mm. Um, yes, and then coming along with a whole bunch of unwarranted expectations, and you're not even full. Your cup's not full, and you have all these expectations for the other person, and you're not living up to a certain expectation of that person. So it's one sided. The relationships are real um, self absorbed. It's all about me and let me get, and nobody's giving, nobody's pouring in to.
Yeah. You can't pour from an empty cup. And, if everybody is broken and walking around
Traumatized.
not sure of themselves, of the world, of where they're going to get their next meal or their next dollar, and then, insensitivity comes into play, and lack of humanity and selfishness, and all of these things is the perfect storm that you pouring from an empty cup or a cup that got a hole in it or whatever the
Couple
case may
chips.
be. But you're not starting from that self-love, and again, loving yourself, loving what you eat, loving who you bring into your circle, loving what you take into your environment,
Oh.
into your mind, what you put into your kids, into their body. If it's not there, you're pouring from an empty cup. So to say that you're loving somebody else, like, you're lying. I don't know who you're trying to convince, you or me. And that's how it comes off with us.
Mm.
Sometimes we come off a little like, who you trying to convince? Because we've seen it. Like, don't lie to another person and waste their time, waste their energy, drain their resources, drain,
That's a
like,
fact.
it's disingenuous, it's dishonest, and it's very mean, to say
That's
the
the big
least. So when someone is doing that, it becomes evident, it becomes apparent, and even to the person that you're doing it to, that you're pouring from an empty cup. You're more of a minus sign than a plus, and we're more of a minus sign than a plus together. And good individuals that come together and make a great union because we're good on our own.
Individual.
Everybody, we're about to go deep. Listen, we're not even going to go through all the fame. We're about to jump right into the conversation. There's a statement that says the apple doesn't fall too far from the tree. Everybody has heard this before. Um, I've got thoughts about that. Let's consider someone who wants to be in a healthy relationship, healthy marriage, but they don't come from that. They don't. Their legacy, their history doesn't come from that. Is the apple doesn't fall too far from a tree, is that like a statement of permanence? And if you come from that, if you didn't see health, then you're bound to repeat that same negative, toxic cycles in your own relationships. Or is there any situation where it's a blessing that the apple fell far from the tree? What's your thoughts on that?
No, you first on this
Okay.
one because this is your
Yeah,
you use
I
this
can.
analogy a
Yeah,
lot.
absolutely. I think it's true. Apples don't fall far from the tree, but you can pick the apple up and throw it far as hell from the tree. But now it's back on you. How strong are you? You got a weak arm, it ain't gonna go too far. So they don't. But we're prime examples of that. Like I didn't know my father. My mother died when I was 9. Nikki, dad's situation was crazy. Mom is 17 years
Young.
older than her. Like we come
I'm the
from it,
baby.
but we were determined and conscious to not have our kids come from it, dwell in it, perpetuate it, carry
Repeat.
it on. So we picked those apples up, and those apples, moved us upstate to almost to Canada, Virginia, Maryland, everywhere, wherever we needed to be, even like no contact type situation. But it was
Absolutely.
about the Harrises. It wasn't about nobody else. And that's kind of where we stood on it. And I think it was beneficial for us, but it was a conscious decision that we're gonna pick these apples up and throw them shits far away from the tree.
And I mean, I think the reason we threw them is because we had a lot of self reflection on our own families, where we came from. We were very conscious of where we came from. Like, so again, we speak of not having a blueprint to know what to do, but we absolutely had a blueprint of what not to do.
Boom.
A lot of blueprints of what not to do from watching the adults around us, our peers, and all of that. TV, movies, scenarios, hypothesis, all these things just, matriculated us understanding to break those cycles. Like it's really a consciousness. Like the one person I got is back. Not gonna that kindness we say be kind to somebody besides yourself. Like that's something that should be maintained in your home for sure. You want me?
Yep. Yep. So, guys, so I thank y'all for sharing that. And the reason I do this is because, so in conversations like this, there is a propensity to make it seem like if you don't come from the best circumstances, the ideal circumstances, then you can't have a positive relationship. And as I get older, I recognize that none of us chose where we came from. Nobody chose where we came from. So your hardships are peculiar to you. But I think it's what you just said. It is the ability to self reflect and to make a decision that either what we have now is unhealthy and I want better, or to say this is cool. For a person who has never been in a position where they had to be self reflective, they never had to. This is because maybe he's talented or she's beautiful. They never had to do this. They could just get rid of one person and find somebody else. What would you say to a person who is starting to see that inability to self reflect is now hurting their marriage, hurting their relationships, and now they need to develop that new muscle? What do you say to them? How do you get that process started? What does that look like to develop that muscle?
Mm. Accountability for your part. Again, we're all flawed. Being able to name at least 3 that you present in the relationship, being conscious of what he would point out and seeing if it matches up, you know? Because I'm self aware, but it might not be what he is. His 3 issues are. So being able to have those conversations and not being offended. Like, this is your husband, I'm his wife. Like, I don't want to be offended. I will be. But that's where the conversation comes in, and just knowing to like the being pre-active, like we're proactive with it, trying not to be. But again, in the young years, oh, offended. Yeah, I was uniquely different. He's always kept a certain calm and clarity and empathy and understanding. For me being a woman and needing to clarify or revisit the conversation again or whatever the case may be. So that I appreciate, and me being able to self-reflect and say that I am doing that. Yeah, I do that. Hmm.
My answer might not be as nice as hers. I would say I think it could. I think I can make it nice. I would say I hope the next person is better than the last, and sooner or later that train kind of leaves the station. Every person isn't going to be better than the last person, and for you to continue to operate with that modus operandi is unique. And sooner or later you're going to look in the mirror one day and see that it hasn't been beneficial. You got to value relationships. It might not be what you deem worthy, might not be what you're expecting in your, imagination, but it's a relationship nonetheless. Water it, flower it. It grows.
Nurture.
And I think that's the difference with people today. It's they're so worried about what they can get from the relationship. They're not worried about sustaining and nourishing the relationship. It's just my opinion.
You know what? I have to agree with that. As I was thinking today, the rates for marriage for our people, diminishes over time, and I was thinking about that. I was thinking about why that is, and I think there's something that needs to be said. It's been taught to us that it's the women who care about relationships. As I get older, what I'm starting to see is that when you see families, maybe you can put us both back up. What I'm starting to see is when it comes to marriage and families, men care about relationships deeply too. Like we typically say, women are the nurturers, and by nurture, that must be relational. But nurturing isn't the only aspect that it takes to develop relationships. So, how do we as men begin to establish our presence and voice and let people understand that if we're going to be a family and it's going to be quality, that we have an equal investment and that development doesn't fall solely at the hands of women. What's your thought on that?
We just have to be a little more present in conversation with our wives, with our kids, and even as a family council. Um, Whether we have the words to articulate, we got to kind of, curtail that to us individually, because we have to cater these words to our audience. We have to deliver them in a way, might have to be delivered depending on age range, depending on demographics, gender, or family. But we, as the dads, we have to be able to relay these messages. And sometimes, we get in this world where, we men and we say stuff the way it need to be said, but sometimes we got to be a little more diplomatic, and then our complaints will be registered and accepted as a little more legit. And again, we just, incrementally move from there. But it definitely starts with us being a little more vocal in our homes, and kind of stepping up as men, but still being diplomatic as fathers, and knowing how to differentiate between the two.
Fantastic. Mr. She said, you got something on it?
He did really well. He speaks up. His voice is heard in this home. It's always been so. He doesn't struggle in that manner. I appreciate that. So, yeah.
Where did this concept come from that men don't care about relationships? Like, that women care more. Like, where did this come from? And the reason I ask this is because most men that I know, like solid, stable men, they care deeply. They may not be very loquacious, may not say very much, but they are so invested. It's why they work so hard. It's why they do what they do. It's why they're proactive and they learn new skills. Like men deeply care about. Heck, look at how many men are talking about relationships today. Men are talking about in 2026. An explosion of men are the ones talking married and family and raising children. Men are doing this. Where did the thought come from that we didn't care as much as we did? Where did that come from?
Ignorance. Ignorance is bliss. Television. Being easily influenced. I would have to say the women had a lot to do with it, creating the narratives and passing it on generationally, sadly. Even if they were experiencing it in their lives, again, that self reflection is very important, because when we reflect on our behavior, when we're telling our stories to our children, it's not always somebody else's fault, you know. And we create this narrative. I'm sorry. I think it's us. I think women have a lot to do with that, ladies. We might have to take that on, because I grew up around a lot of men and a lot of caring men all these years, and I would say men do care just as much as women. They nurture just as much as women. And it's sad that we are here. So I'm glad that they're being heard. They're speaking up, speaking out. Most of us are listening. So keep doing it. I know you guys.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't disagree much with what you said. Entertainment, absolutely, creating the narrative mostly, because even in entertainment, men are chivalrous. Men are, giving up the wooden door, even on the Titanic. It's women and kids are first. That's societal. It's common knowledge. But once you get certain entertainment that depicts people in a certain light, people grab on and create a narrative. That's where the narrative comes in mostly for me, because it's not true. Look to the left, look to the right. I don't see men that are just barbaric and insensitive. We do have undesirables, but for the most part, men know women and children first, and you honor the honor of your wife and your mom and your sister. So I think it's a narrative, mostly entertainment, the rest, and that's my answer. I'm sticking to it.
Yo, this is getting good. You said what I was thinking, Mister. He said, "Yo, I told y'all we on the same frequency. I told you." You said it is that barbaric attitude that this is why I don't like when we reduce men and we say men are hunters. Because if you look at what that is associated with, we're predators. Everything that we do is for self. And most men are hunters because we care. We're not just out here just doing stuff, just hurting people and taking advantage of people, not family men, we're not. And I think that if we leave the conversation and we turn men into animals, it dehumanizes us. So you don't even have to think about the complexity of what men are and how deeply we love. Would you say that that's a fair statement?
Indeed, I would. But again, the onus is on us to have people kind of see that in us. Like, we have to present ourselves and treat people in a fashion where they see that. Again, I might fly off the handle, or I might get a little, unique, but that, that's my brother. He's a good brother. He may be having a moment, but everybody has a moment. So, I think it's what's organically in you, where again your modus operandi, what you're really working from, whether your foundation is building or destroying. And I think people, the true people, can see the difference.
I want to turn it to you guys. How in the world did y'all stay together for so long? Now, I'm going to assume that it wasn't always sunshine and peaches and cream and a bed of roses, but with so many people divorcing, so many people breaking up, so many people allowing family to come between their relationship, so many people with all these options. Amid all of that, you guys are 28 years in. Who knows how much longer before that? How did you guys stay together when it seemed like everybody else is falling apart? What's the secret?
Um, get rid of unwarranted expectations. I think for me, that's one of the biggest. Expecting him to do things it's not even warranted. Uh, Communication. Be kind to somebody besides yourself. Consideration, empathy. Goodness gracious. And we married to stay married. Like, we didn't marry with a exit plan. Even with people around me as a woman, other women, keep some money tucked for the just in case. Like, you should have a just in case type situation. And it would always like boggle my mind. And I would have to, address that with them. Like, this exit what? That's never been a plan. That's not my intention. So I would say just we are intentional. Like, I love him more than I love him. I like him every day. So even on bad days, even when we're going through the worst of the worst, it wasn't him. It's not his fault. We got to get through it. That's my side. I'm sticking to it.
Um, Intentionality. I believe Ice Cube might have said it best that I heard. We here because we want to be here.
That's a
I
fact.
wanna be here. Like, I
wanna
like
come home.
this my girl. I like her since the day I met her. Um, it's intentional. It's purposeful, and we have a certain
It's
je ne
good.
sais quoi that'll keep somebody there. Like articulation, the way you look, the way you smell, how
Creative.
you dance, what we create, what message you send,
Funny.
what modus operandi you operate from, your values, your relationship with your family, with your mom, with my kids, how you feed them, how you nurture. All of these things keep me attracted to this girl. In the different, seasons that, people call
Yes.
marriage, they just get us a little more ready because the seasons are just that. They're seasoning, they're making the flavors more enhanced. Like, she's seasoning and growing beautifully. I met her, she was 20 years old. She's not anymore. And it's beautiful to sit next to her and see all that she has been through.
Me too.
When the wall comes up and she jumps over it, like, it exists. She came to it. Like, whoa!
They had a baby.
I gotta eat. I gotta get in this garden. I gotta smoothies. I gotta do these fastings for myself. She's looking at me fast as a Muslim man. Like, you know what? I gotta do my fast. I gotta listen to my body, and it changed her whole clock. And again, just seeing this inspiring each other, chilling with each other, dancing with each other, eating with each other, cooking with each other. All of this, next thing you look up is 28 years, but you gotta take them one day at a time, like AA.
Yes.
And every day been fun. Every day been a good conversation. It's not like we just hit the button and just talk, just like our channel when we in the kitchen. Purposeful conversations. Yeah, we witty and we'll have a joke every now and again,
okay,
but
too.
we talking about something. And that's attractive to have this young lady telling me about all these organic remedies and what I can do for my hair. And this is what we need to be doing around the house. And this is how we can curate the bathroom. And this is what we need to be doing in the next spot. And this is the next venture we could be looking into. And I got this workshop set up and I'm giving this information to these ladies on Thursday. Like, all of this stuff. Next thing you know, it's another week and another week and another week. And the kids are growing and dating and loving and learning. And Madison is going to school. Like, all of these things happening within the family. We look up and damn, we've been together for a while.
Mm-hmm.
This shit nice.
Yeah.
So, we just wish that people would find this type of energy. Doesn't have to be an on-paper marriage or none of the stuff y'all talking about.
Mm-hmm.
But you find somebody you value and you reciprocate the value. And you show them, I like you. I'm into you. I like being around you. I want to be around you tomorrow. You mind spending forever with me?
Mm-hmm.
And that's how it, but it got to start from day one. And it's just been a roller coaster ride and we have not got off. Sorry for being so long-winded.
No, listen, you guys are the guests, so take as long as you need. I appreciate that. Mr. C, do you have something you want to add?
You did great.
Okay, guys, I want to flip to something because this is one of the areas that so many couples end things on: conflict. Most people have not learned how to healthily deal with conflict. So let's say a couple has their experiences financial issues, some issues of some sort, and now there is a conflict. How do we keep that conflict from turning into all out war? And how do we keep the focus on resolving the conflict, the focus, and not battling each other? How do we do that?
Don't do this. The pointing of the finger. There's accountability on both sides when it comes to money. I would think, right? So logically, your best bet is put shit on paper. write out the bills, write out what's coming in, so you know what's happening. Like those, that's the logic of it all. This is what we have to do. This is what needs to be done. You know, you have to be willing to listen. Quiet and listen. Especially if one person has a better plan. Clearing up credit. Whatever. Somebody may be better at doing it. So you're designated to making that plan. But some of us can't let go of control, ladies. Some of us. I'm just saying. So sometimes it's hard to do that. I
Got you.
stop trying to control everything.
Um, Fight like heavyweight champions of the world. No hitting below the belt. No names out of our name. Like, have certain rules in place. We gonna disagree, but we don't have to go all crazy with it. Again, if you don't have the words, read a dictionary, get a thesaurus, like
Shut up.
get the tools. A lot of us don't have the tools, so we starting to curse and we're gonna raise our voice and we're gonna get all beside ourselves. Say what you need to say. They didn't get it, put it another way. I got you. And this is where that line comes in, that you say you want this honest guy and you want the truth, but you don't want it from an articulate guy that got synonyms and all that under double analogies, and you don't want it. No, because he can say it another way. You might not like it even more. So it's just that fight like heavyweight champions. No biting, no spitting, no hitting below the belt, and you guys will be fine. And that's what's so crazy about relationships, bro, is that if they just behaved with any decorum like a heavyweight boxer or at work, relationships would be 5 years longer. Do you yell at anybody at work? Call them all out their name. You actually say good morning. You might bring donuts. You have small talk. You help
Smile
people.
when you don't want to.
That's just at work. If you behaved like you behaved at work, but you signed a code of conduct, and they don't want that, Sir Hale. That's like a relationship
Code of
evaluation
conduct in your home,
worksheet.
absolutely.
That's like, it's like the smallpox to them. But if you behaved like this, fight like heavyweights, behave like you behave at work, you'll be a very pleasurable person. Anybody disagree?
Mm-mm. I like that though, but people should look at their home like that. It should be a code of conduct in your home.
Talk about
Like
it.
we always had, like, kitchen rules or bathroom rules or just a set of rules for the Harris family as far as these kids. Reciprocity, respect everybody's space, respect their things. You ask for stuff, you knock on the door, you don't. All of these things is a code of conduct. So if you create that for the children, it should run the same for them. Because how are you telling us to behave and y'all acting a fool?
That part.
And I think that's the biggest thing with our intention, not acting a fool around our children, especially to each other.
Because we both have the capacity. we have the capacity.
We have the capacity now. Oh yeah.
But
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
no, never with each other.
I think that is really good. That could be a whole segment in and of itself, because as I get older, I realize the kids are listening less to what you say and listening more to what you do. That the whole concept of actions speak louder than words cannot be any realer when it comes to children. But I want to go back to something you said, Mr. He said, about men who are articulate. Now, I'll give you this. When I was in the 80s, 90s, coming up as a young lad, all I kept hearing is, I want him to be able to communicate. I want a man who can express himself and to talk and to be able to put two sentences together. And now we have a generation of men who actually can. And guess what we hear now? He's sassy.
He's sassy.
It's
Sassy
This
AF.
nigga, he up it.
we went to communication classes. We got communication degrees. We're listening to articulate people. And now that we can speak and we can't be run, circles can't be run around us in a dialogue, it is as if that skill is now shamed. So this is a question for Mr. She said. What do you say to women who want communication, but who weaponizes a man's fluency against him by calling him sassy or out of his name because he communicates well? And Mr. He said, my question for you is, how does a man make his woman feel secure that he's not trying to make her feel like a high school student when he talks to her. Like, how does he control himself? So the first one is for Mr. She said, what was all that? I want him to be able to communicate. And then when he does, now he's sassy.
Um, Again, it's the brainwashing, the narrative push that girls develop and mature faster than boys, and like all of that is something that's pushed, and we believe it. So to see and you show that you're more articulate, like you can self regulate better than me. Like some of us don't like it. Maybe it might be a little envy, maybe a little envy and jealousy, because it creates hate. It creates disdain and stuff like that, right? But I knew he was smarter than me. I knew he could articulate well. That's why I chose him. You make me better. You understand? You're gonna always inspire me to want to come up to your level, right? Not to say I'm less than, because there's certain things that I taught him. He needs to come up to my level. Whatever. Absolutely. But I think they're threatened by it because we don't want to listen. Like we're hard headed. A lot of these things is self-reflecting of self. We have a hard time self-regulating. We have a hard time, the self-control, mood swings. Like these things are really something that's biological. And when you learn to regulate it better, or you're around other women who teach you to, affirm it, it's something that you learn to create better habits with. Because I would say I just learned better habits because I came straight from the hood. I was always offended how I see a lot of these women sit on these panels. So I absolutely understand that. Stop being offended. I think you can't do nothing about my insecurity. That's mine. Like I don't know how much you men are expected to do to secure security that's mine. If I'm insecure about anything, the relationship, my intelligence, my weight, my whatever, those are my issues. You can't fix that shit. Like he said, my cup is chipped. It's a little stained. It might be a little over, low or whatever. But those are things that I have to fix. Sometimes, ladies, y'all got to look at yourself and fix your own shit. I'm sorry, they can't do it all. So having other women around, the elders, and listening, being able to listen and willing to change. You're going to. So you should try to do that, in respect to your man. I'm just saying.
Indeed.
Check yourself for your record.
My question was about the guys that can articulate. I would say, fellas, a kind man will find the gray area to kind of put these things and get his young lady or wife to see that I have your best interests at heart, and what I'm saying is going to help us in the long run. I had a different approach. It still kind-hearted, but at the same time, like she said, like I said earlier, your cup, you got to fill your cup up first for it to start overflowing. And like she said, insecurities, hormone, all of these things that come with the ladies, like you got to address that first. And she would say, self-esteem and or it's a you thing, yeah, right? No, it's never right. A lot of my answers was like, that's a you thing. You got to get that
just like that
under control. I ain't got no control over that. And, she would just humble herself and listen to it and kind of like, you know what? He kind of right.
That's like, I say, shut the fuck up is the first thought.
Let me get to it. But everybody ain't going to be able to stand on that square. Like I said, I had a lot of practice with these girls. Sometimes I got to stand on an island. But you got to find the gray area, fellas, and that may be the most hardest thing. Like finding that gray area to walk in, it's really hard.
Okay, I think it may have froze just a little bit. You guys back? Okay, there we go. Keep on cooking, Mr. He said. Keep on cooking for us.
If you're a doctor, you check your bedside manner, but you still got to deliver that medicine. So, deliver it. They're going to take it how they take it. Mm-hmm. And, again, you there for their best interest. You love them. So at the end of the day, they know that. And again, we were fighting like heavyweights. hit below the belt. I just put it out there, and you got to be able to accept that. And I'm,
Yes.
again, I'm a guy.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's going to come off like a guy said it.
Yeah.
So, we kind
And
of
that practice, like he said, that practice. I grew up with a lot of boys, so I knew that tone. I knew that clarity. I understood that. You know what I mean? And with my boys, my family, we went to blows, so I understood that too. So like he said, no hitting below the belt.
Sure.
And having that them boundaries, man, that shit is concrete. So we respectfully respected them. That's why we still here.
He'll put me on the screen. The reason I asked Mr. He said this question is because I see intelligent, intellectual men. Now, ladies may not agree with this. I want to address the honest really quickly. Men have to be careful because we're not often taught that if we don't temper what we say with respect and with love and with kindness, we can break the woman that we're with. Now, I didn't realize this because I come from a generation of women who are strong-willed and they say a lot of, strong stuff. And, sticks and stones can't break my bones, but you still talking about stuff from 40 years ago. I bring this up because men, we have to have emotional intelligence so that we understand that sometimes you can say the right thing in the wrong way and you just created an issue. So, Mr. He said, this is to you again. How do we train men how to be authentic? I don't believe in not saying what needs to be said. I don't. My wife often tells me that you a little bit too blunt, brother. You little, you know what I mean. You need to sweeten it up a little bit there, brother. You know what I mean. And if it get too good, she's good for telling me you ain't my daddy. You like what you ain't going to do. I feel like, oh, all right. How do we maintain the truth? Say what needs to be said, but in a way that is respectful. And then I want Mrs. She Said to chime in because the communication can't just be on who is saying it, not in a marriage. Like the responsibility has to also be on the hearer as well. So, Mr. He Said, that's for you. And then the second part of that question is for Mr. She Said.
It's like I answered the first time. You gotta be able to know how to put it. If you're a certain sophisticated kind of guy, if you are one that's not unfamiliar with standing on your square, you say it, let it resonate, and then move on to the next thing. But the solidifier and what qualifies it is how you talk the other 364 days of the year. And when we in other situations, again, is the kudos as fluent? Is is everything well rounded? Does she see you behave in this fashion in most fashions? And I think that's the solidifier again. Nikki, I could say whatever I want, but if she didn't see me on the court, she didn't see me at school, she didn't see me in my neighborhood, she didn't see me at work, she didn't see the respect I get from people where I go, what I said wouldn't be nothing but what I said. If Corey Holcomb told me don't say nothing else to him and I ain't say nothing, she'd be like, boy, you better concentrate more on that situation you didn't finish with Corey, worrying about me. So it was, the way I am is the way I am. Again, she seen me on the court, brothers 6'5", 6'6". I'm only 6 feet, 6'1". And I don't give a damn how tall you is. That's not me, bro. Like, I'm always me. And again, just her seeing me in these aspects, she pulling out letters from college. Like, she's like, look what this professor was saying about you.
So much.
Like his articulation and his carrier. Like, she's like, this is that's the qualifiers for me. Like, I could say what I want, but she's seen me with like where I grew up at, the people who watch me from a small pup. Ain't nobody got no bad words to say. They're like, this boy was respectful. This boy know basketball. And this boy went on the, like, she's seen it. It qualifies itself. So when I say something, it's not like, oh, you don't talk to nobody else like that. Like, no, I talk to everybody like this.
Okay, wait. Mr. He Said. This is why we don't talk. Because you say good stuff like this. That is a fantastic point. I think that's the problem so many gentlemen have today. Is they're trying to get their wife to give them a respect that she can't see. There is nothing outside of her that she can take her cues from. It is such a fantastic point. Thinking about my wife, now I'm gonna put her on the spot as well. She's back there, so she's listening. She used to say that very thing. You don't talk to nobody else like that, but you talk nice to everybody else. And then one day, she saw me talk to people who were my bosses the same way I talked to her. And then, Lady Hale, you know who I'm talking about. One of them met her in the store. Yeah, they met her in the store and told her how I pretty much I went into their office. I told everybody to go out, and I needed to have a conversation with them about what we're not going to do. My boss, and she told my wife, she was surprised that I talked to her like that, but she couldn't be mad because what I said was right. Since that time, Lady Hill don't say, "Well, you don't do nobody else like that," because there's other cues. I really am who I say I am. And I think that when women can see that men, we really are who we say we are, and that there's a trail of that, it makes respect that much easier. So thank you for saying that. And then, Lady Hill, if what I'm saying, can they hear you? If that's true, just say facts.
Hey sis, how you doing back there?
Excellent. Okay, so Mr. She said, as far as the listening piece, what responsibility do our wives have when it comes to listening to understand and not to just simply react?
Man, they got to work on it. They got to work on it. Like he said, I know who he is outside of me, and it doesn't change. So I would say I learned to put my guard down. That cup was chipped and damaged, and stuff that ain't have nothing to do with him. Growing up, so learning to trust he meant what he said and he said what he meant. Like it was clear, so it was never hard for me to listen to him. Again, I think I had training from growing up with all these boys, watching him on the court, watching how he moved. When he said he was going to do something, he did it. So I'm listening because I know he cared. He does have my best interest at heart. Now, if things weren't like that, yeah, we probably wouldn't be here. But this is the kind of man you marry. you know um Again, we're all flawed. I'm never at a keel temperament. I yell and I scream and I carry on. We're all human, and he shows me a lot of grace. Like that's a beautiful thing. He shows me a lot of grace for my biological emotional instabilities at times. So it's a lot. The grace is amazing. Not just me, not just raising me, raising three girls and a boy. Like that's unique to be able to temperament himself and watch him regulate. Like I envied it, And again, like I said, in marriages, you can envy and have jealousy to the point now you hate him. I don't like you because you're better than me. Instead of bringing yourself up to be better as well. Like that's what marriage should be. We're supposed to make each other better. So
Okay, you guys can't come back. I wasn't expecting this level of wisdom to fall so effortlessly tonight. This is fantastic. So, talk to us more about this. That is such a big point. Like, if I'm being honest with you, I think all of us, if we're not careful, we could become jealous of our spouse because the place where they're requiring us to grow is so challenging, and we would rather highlight their wrongs to justify our inadequacies. So it takes a dose of humility and thankfulness and recognizing that we're on the same team. And what you're doing is so that I can elevate, not so that I can stay on this level. Yo, can we, everybody, commercial break, hand claps. Lady Hale claps there. This is such a good point. I'm so glad y'all said this. You're going to be my therapist tonight. Now, listen, Mr. She said, talked about those hormones. And let me tell you something I ain't mastered yet. It's them hormones. Now, with my wife, she's, going through different changes and stuff. Is men. You see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? So as wives go through different changes, how can us men that'll understand them. Like there's a term that I don't want to call it a diagnosis, but a phase of life, perimenopause. Before last year, I had never heard of it. I mean, I never heard of that before. How can we as men develop capacity to love and understand our women as they go through the transitions of life? What can we do?
Oh, you just said it. You gotta love your woman. Like I said, man, I'm down for her. Like I'm down for her and everything that come with her. And I think that's how I come off. Like y'all not mine. I don't have to talk to you a certain way. I don't have to. I know women are unstable creatures. But this my unstable creature right here. I don't have to deal with the rest of y'all. Like let's sort that out.
Right.
But
Y'all,
no,
y'all work that out.
you gotta love them, man. And to see her go through those things again was just beautiful because it's inspiring to see a woman face the challenges that they all go through. You could act like it's not you, but to see her go to the doctors, take the advice, have the procedure, follow the regimen, and she's good as new. Back to
It
herself.
was a struggle.
It was.
Woo,
It was.
child.
It was a roller coaster. But again, we talk
Very
about
empathetic.
getting sick. Getting sick is kind of the small part. The recovery is the hard part. Do you have the village that is willing to step in for you, step in with you when it's time for recovery? Because her recovery was serious.
And extensive.
And she had a whole village like, nah, mommy, you stay in the bed. You follow what the doctor said. Because we got this.
Yeah.
School.
And it's serious.
Dinner every Tuesday and Wednesday. We got this. But again, that's the function we sat down at the table and talked about when we was dating. Not who's picking up the check. Not what kind of car did you drive.
Right.
We was talking about
Body
seeing
count.
eye to eye about family before we become family. Would you be willing to do this? Would you love me with no arm? If we lived in a box? If we ain't have no... Like, we talked about things that were intangible versus tangible. So when we came to these very spots, it was like,
I told
let's
you.
do it. We talked about it.
Right. If this was to ever
Let's get to it.
happen, this is what we gonna do. And so those, I mean, you gotta have them building sessions. If you're just getting married and everybody's on their phone and y'all just getting into click mode, like that's very unhealthy. Because if one person put their head up and you ain't doing what they expect you to do, it's gonna be a problem. It's definitely gonna be a problem.
But yeah, you just gotta love them, fellas. You gotta be willing. You gotta be humble. All of the things we just said about them, you gotta be willing and humble enough to go through it with her and to help her see the other side. And you guys can get through it together.
But ladies, this is a reality check for you. They can't help you if you have no clue, and most of y'all have no clue. We run to the doctor and like, I don't know what's going on, but something's going on. So the lack of clarity and understanding of, the biology of the hormones and how they work, there's no way he's going to be able to have any type of empathy or, sympathy because you can't even be clear, right? Because we get to a point in the 30s and it's like something's off. Like you'll just even say it to yourself, like I just feel off, like something, and you don't know. So it's kind of hard. Men have solutions, like especially your husband. You come to him with a problem, he wants to fix it. So if we're not clear and we don't know what's going on, it's kind of hard for y'all to really empathize. So I think that is going to definitely cause a problem in a marriage, especially when we want to still be hot and cute, and this is not happening to me type mentality when it can start happening as early as 35, 36 years old. So, just being mindful. And like you said, you just heard perimenopause last year. It's been around, you know what I mean? So for women, girls growing up, like it should absolutely be a lesson. It shouldn't be something avoided. And I think the generations before us have neglected because they didn't have the words, they didn't have the articulation, they didn't have, were able to advocate for themselves at the doctor because they didn't know. So now that we have all this technology and this clarity, bring more understanding, we can tell y'all more. That I know that this is why I'm behaving this way, or this is why I'm thinking like this, and this is why. But y'all can't help and understand if we don't know. So come over to the cabinet. We giving you a lot of that. That's all I'm
You
saying.
guys, everybody, if you haven't already subscribed to Kitchen Medicine Cabinet with the Harrises, guys, you want to. Like it's not just food; it's more than that. Guys, so make sure you subscribe. We'll make sure that's in the comments as well. Just flipping this really quickly. Me and go through changes too, and it is something uh, we talk about, but I think we need to discuss more. Me and go through changes too. I know me at my age, my temperament has changed. Like stuff, I small talk and little stuff that I used to be good with. Like Lady Hill will tell you, I don't have a tolerance for it anymore. So, Mr. He said, how can we communicate with our women, with our wives, that I'm not the 25-year-old that I was anymore. I'm not the 35-year-old I was. I've changed. How do we communicate that?
It's a gradual process. Again, you don't want to bombard, and you want to be sophisticated enough to not overwhelm or overload. And you guys are gonna kind of be like mirrors of each other. Like this is what I kind of noticed, that relationship talk about tables versus a mirror is kind of crazy, because once we start reflecting off each other and I see she's going through changes, I think we both adopt the lifestyle, the juicing, the vegetables, the healthier diet, which is going to help me as well. And then again, the extensive learning about the flax seeds and the different seeds and things that are going to help me, the sea moss and things specifically catered to me, is when that starts to kick in. But again, it was that awareness that sparked from her, like something's going on with me and I got to put my finger on it. I need to get these panels and I need to get like this stuff checked. And sure enough, it was what kicked our lifestyle change into effect.
Yeah, because we're all hormonal.
But me specifically, I mean, fellas, you know what it is. Watch your stream, watch that erection in the morning, like your diet. You know you eat like a pirate. You know you don't drink a lot of water. You know your pee look like apple juice. All of these things you got to know. And again, like Nikki said, you got to be honest. You got to go to the doctor. You got to be honest. You got to be honest with your family, how you're feeling, and then kind of go from there. But if we don't create that environment, that safe space, if you're not listening to me about anything other than here's my wallet, like we said earlier, I don't think you're going to be that open to listen to me about my back pain or my side pain, or I'm not getting hard anymore in the morning, I noticed, or even if she's not noticing. Again, this is where that, like, I don't even know how she should be the first one telling you, like, she should be telling you, you're not getting hard in the morning no more because I'm on it. So, I don't know how these relationships look, but the honesty, the humility, and the knowledge is definitely going to have to kick in first. And then if you have that space to where you can bring it up, if they haven't noticed already, you gotta bring it up. But honesty is the best policy. I guess that's where you start first.
Yeah, eliminate the embarrassment.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing to be embarrassed when it comes to your husband and your wife, man.
Mm-hmm.
You got to get up in my butt crack, and I got to do the same. Listen, this is what we need to do. Mm-hmm. Okay, so I'm just saying.
I agree.
Well, sir, this show just took a turn. I think it's real though. Like I'm of the mindset that don't you dare to marry somebody who don't care about your health. I am of that mindset. If they don't care about your mental health, your emotional health, your financial health, that ain't your person. The person who is for you wants to see you live and wants to see you live in abundance. So I appreciate you guys sharing that. One other question, and then we're gonna get out of here. A couple is struggling not because there's no love, but because they don't know how to properly raise the kids. The kids take up so much attention, and they don't know how to keep their marriage vibrant. What do you say to them?
Oh man. Time management. Okay, you regulate your home. Do it intentionally. Okay, children do not run homes, and when you have that type of conduct understood in your home, even with toddlers, like it has to be respected. There needs to be a set time for children to be in the bed so mommy and daddy can be sane. You understand? So even earlier, we know children are not going to go right to sleep. So for little people, 7:30, if they not sleep, you got to be at least be in your room doing some wind down time. Like it needs to be really structured. So I have to say the 12, maybe 13 years that we sat still, it was because of that structure. Like going out to clubs and date nights and leaving our children with people so we can go out and all that. Like we didn't do that stuff. So we had to play games and cards and video games and reading, coloring, all kinds of stuff. So that's keeping your family tight and structured. So time management. Get them damn devices out your house with your babies. If you got little babies, like not at all. So I mean that's just my advice. And the time management part, bedtime early, so you have that wind down time as adults.
Facts.
Nikki
called it book, bottle, bed, bath, all of those. Like it was a regiment. Like you get a bath, you get a book, you get nice
bottle,
fed belly, and then you lay down.
Something.
But it's that attention again. Everything consciously, well-roundedly. The kids, you had your time all day. I was with you. I was chilling with you. We was outside. We was running. We was jumping. We was learning. We was playing. We was eating. We was snacking. Now I feed you. I bathe you. I put you down. 8 o'clock because I got to spend time with your daddy. He is important like you. This is what they don't get. Daddy don't get no celebration. She don't tell them that daddy is important too. I want to be around him too, just like I want to be around y'all.
That's a fact.
They don't get that. It's tell your mama she pretty. Tell your mama the food was good. Tell your mama everything. What did she turn around and say? Don't y'all dare tell me so much stuff. Stop for one, and now tell your daddy something, and then come back to telling me something. They don't do that. They just say, keep telling me. Tell me more about my eyes. Yes. Tell me. They don't say tell daddy, and that's the lack of reciprocation. Like, nah, we got to stop right here. And then it goes even deeper than that because it come a time where she was like, yo, we got to do something. Because she was feeling, I can't put my hand on it. But I talk to these kids all day. I know that's one of the things.
Hell yeah.
You got to get me out somewhere. We got to talk grown-up stuff in an environment that these kids ain't around. F them kids. And it's just a colloquialism now, and it's a joke. But y'all got to put that selfish button in y'all relationship. Because them kids are mess around and have y'all not together. They gonna get 21, be gone, and you looking at this stranger that you just been roommates with for the last 18 years.
What you want to do? I don't know. What we gonna eat?
Now we back by ourselves again. I don't like you. You don't like me. I don't know you. You don't know me. We don't like the same things.
Scared to touch and shit. Like, what's up with that? Scared to touch me?
Because the kids are gonna grow up to be adults. And, hopefully adults that you want to leave your house and create their own family.
Yes, but always want to come back. They want to come back.
But y'all got to remain and maintain that unity. It's a unified front. And if they see they can get in between it, they will. Let them know you have your place, but they have their place too. I love y'all mother. I'm like her security. Like what you say to my wife?
That's a fact.
Like,
we'll jump y'all.
Whoa, wait a minute. I know that's your mother and all that, but that's my wife. What you say to her? Oh, this is about to be some furniture moving in here. And they got to see that. It's jovial, we playing, but at the same time, they serious. They've been together for a long time. I think they were serious.
But they've watched us have to protect each other from other people, from family, from things like that. So they know we are no nonsense, and you better not mess with my husband.
So love up on the kids, but shit, that
So, and this is my advice to the ladies, and this is affirming them from girl to womanhood. The relationship that I have with your father is desirable. I want him, and you having this time management, them understanding that they're learning all at the same time. All of these things are learning for them, whether it's directly or indirectly, but affirming that he's important to me. And that's why y'all need to take y'all beds to bed. So
Whole
we can have
fact.
some adult fun or whatever. Yeah, yeah. It's quite important.
That's a fact.
Yeah.
Part two, and Crystal, let's get the fire out. It's going to be kids go to bed. It's going to. I want us to really spend some time talking about the necessity of intimacy.
Yes.
We got to talk about this. Yeah, in the comments, would you guys like a show like that? Kids go to bed, inspired by the Harrises. This is fantastic. Kids go to
Yes.
a whole series because I think
Mhm.
that's what you said. A lot of men don't feel appreciated. We have been taught to appreciate, but we never get that back. And just growing up, I don't think I've ever heard anybody say that. Like, go tell your father something kind or something, and you could tell if it's unnormal because if he does get that, he feels weird about it. Anytime a man feels weird about a compliment, that means you don't get it very often. You know what I mean? And I think we got to change that culture because it teaches our daughters how to love and it teaches our sons how to be loved. And then, of course, we reciprocate that as well. That was fantastic. I got more questions, but I want to respect your time. Lady Hale, was that not good? Yeah, you got to come off me. I want the people to hear you. Everybody, I've been married to Lady Hale. She should be in jail because we got together when I was 17. But we will talk about that at a different date. But Lady Hale, what did you think about the show tonight?
It was a different time.
I'm sorry, guys. So the chat can't hear.
Mm-mm. They said they can't hear. That's
Oh,
what
the
they're
chat
saying.
can't hear. Lady Hale cooking in the back, and can't nobody hear her.
Greece.
Yeah, we're gonna fix that really quickly. She was just saying pretty much how I'm an amazing husband, amazing communicator, all the good stuff. But she'll get a chance to reiterate that once she's like
Yeah.
on camera.
Okay, can y'all chat? Can y'all hear me now? Just put a one in the chat if you can hear me. I'm sorry, I came on screen, but I was just saying that tonight was absolutely amazing. From thank you so much, Mr. He said and Mrs. She said for coming on tonight. Just sharing the wisdom about number one, loving your spouse, liking your spouse, being that cohesive unit. They also talked about like even your health, recognizing things in your spouse, right? Because we can get so busy, whether with work or whatever our obligations are, that we're not really paying attention to that because everything else has our priority. And in the relationship we have to be us first, right? It's like I know some people say it shouldn't be us against the world, but at the end of the day, when it's with your spouse, it's us first, then them, right? Then them can be anything. It be then church, then my family, then my mama, then my daddy, then my kids, whoever, right? But we have to make sure that we keep each other first, because once you lose that connection, you lose that partnership, you lose that understanding, and you honestly you lose that respect. And I love how Mr. and Mrs. He said how they were saying that no matter where they are, they respect each other the same. And even when they brought up about working, right, that like you shouldn't treat your spouse no better than, you shouldn't treat your spouse worse than you treat your job. And they talked about the code of conduct. That was powerful, the code of conduct. And I do believe that we should have a code of conduct in our marriage, a code of conduct in our houses. I love the analogy. She called it, what was it, Mrs. She said BBB, bed, bottle,
Yes,
belly,
the
something.
four B's. Yes,
The
yes.
four
Four B's.
B's. Wow. That should be a book. The four
Yeah,
B's. And have
I
them
got it
people
right
journal that. That's powerful. I like that.
here.
But I don't want to go. I don't want to rant or anything like that. But I just want to say thank y'all so much for coming on tonight, coming to the Sir Hell Speak Network. Of course, I'm gonna go back to the background, but thank each and every one of y'all that tuned in tonight. Be sure to like and subscribe, share, because when you share, the algorithm works with us, and also share on other platforms. If it has the ability to share on Facebook, share it on Facebook, share it in your Facebook story, share it on YouTube so more people can hear positive content like here on the Sir Hell Speak Network. All right, y'all. Bye.
Thank you,
Thank you,
sister.
sis.
Thank you,
Thank
Lady
you for
Hill.
being.
Yeah, this was too good. Thank y'all. You the first couple I've had on here, but y'all know we go back. You know what I mean? We go way back. And when I tell
We
you, I
do.
really have an admiration for you. It's heartfelt. I hope you guys know that as well. I really
Same,
Like,
appreciate you coming on tonight.
same.
Like since day one,
likewise.
when I met you, like y'all funny. Just so y'all know, yeah, y'all funny. I just sit back and listen. I really love how when each one of you are speaking, the other person is invested. I look at little things like that, and I hope that more people get a chance to experience that love. So to that end, for people who want this, what advice would you give them? And everybody, we're ending the show. If you haven't already subscribed to the Sayers, the Harrises, all that they have going on, make sure you do that before the end of the night. But as we conclude,
Oh man, ladies, my body, my choice. Choose wisely. Pay attention to who they're around. Like dating someone without knowing their village is not wise. Okay, that's my advice. Like that courting, I don't care what age you are. That's what you need to do, especially in this world of this technology. You don't know who or what you're getting, and the unwarranted expectations will ruin everything. So get to know that person and where they came from, so you know what to at least expect. Something. That's the short end.
Uh, love yourself. Protect yourself at all times. Treat people how they want to be treated, not how you want to be treated. That's for
That's a
another
good one.
time. That's for another time. It's another space to operate. Relationship, love interest. Treat people how they want to be treated. Maybe you might have to inquire. You might have to pay a little extra attention, but find out what they like and do that, and then repeat.
Hmm.
Next thing you know, you're gonna look up. It's gonna be a mighty long time, but Mrs. Harris likes to be treated a certain way. She likes to be talked to a certain way, not like me. So I wouldn't treat her like I want to be treated because I'm not her. So I find out from her. Even if I articulate and ask, is there anything I could do better as a husband, as a brother, as a father, as a friend, as a all of
It's a
that?
pet owner.
Because this has been 28 years. I ain't been doing this from day one. Now, like, don't get it twisted, because the fellas nowadays, they hear that, they hear simp, and he asking his woman what she want him to know. But after 28 years, to ask this young lady, is it anything that I could do for you?
And mean it.
And mean
do
it is, where I operate from, but she's earned that. And I love her immensely. She's an incredible inspiration, the nurturer of my children. And my last answer is by black, man. My wife is black, my mama black, my car black, my kids black, my auntie black, the little kitten I just got black. So I'm doing my part. You doing yours? Damn. Crazy.
Ain't black.
yeah, listen, I love y'all very much. He said, my kids, my kitten, the animals black. I'm doing my part. Listen, y'all, Harrises, I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Thank you so much. Everybody, would
Bro.
y'all show some love to the Harrises? It has been another one on the Sir Hell Speaks
Love you,
platform.
love you, brother. Bro.
Yep. Lady Hill, thank you for being on the ones and twos. I appreciate you. Yep.
Hey,
To Lady
sis.
Anye, to Vaughn, to all of you. Thank you so much for being here.
Yes.
Lady Anye, I appreciate you as usual, always on the
Yes.
links. Thank you so
Love
much.
you, sis.
All right, y'all.
Love
Till
you.
next time, everybody, we're gonna come back again next Friday. We're gonna do the show "Kids Go to Bed." It will be a rated mature show. but I think it's a needed one. And what better audience? I mean, what better people to talk about it than from somebody who's got 30 years in the game? So come back next week. Kids go to bed. We're going to be talking about it.
Thank
Look
y'all.
forward to seeing you guys soon. Have a good night, everyone.
Crazy. You got 30 years in the game.